Everyone has responsibility for their decisions and the consequences of those decisions. But not everyone fully understands their scope of responsibility or how to take responsibility for their lives. And sometimes it creates a lot of predictable problems, including failures to take responsibility for mistakes, blaming others, or being dishonest. Responsibility could be defined as having a duty or obligation, being accountable, having the ability to act independently, or being a source of blame. Basically, it's the attribution of a consequence to a cause. If Amara makes a mistake, then she is responsible for that mistake. Nothing will ever change that fact. Either Amara accepts responsibility for her mistake, or she tries to avoid the topic or shift blame onto something else. People who behave responsibly tend to care more about the consequences of their decisions. A student who cares about grades will be more responsible in doing homework. Parents who care about the well-being of their children will take more responsibility to prevent abuse and neglect. People who behave irresponsibly, in contrast, tend to be careless about the consequences of their decisions. For example, someone who drives at excessive speeds down the highway, or a parent who carelessly mistreats a child, or someone who is careless about the losses that others experience as a result of one's crimes, or someone who carelessly makes false accusations about other people when knows little about. All people have limited scope of responsibility. To some extent, people are the product of their circumstances. The human brain is not capable of controlling the forces of nature or foreseeing the consequences of every decision. No one has a choice about their genes or the political or economic environment they were born into. A person's life, in many ways, is a product of fortunate opportunities and sometimes unfortunate setbacks. However, people are responsible for the choices they make. That includes how they spend their time, what they learn, how much they help others, and how they handle life challenges. All of these different choices shape their character, reputation, and success in achieving goals. Underestimating and overestimating responsibility is an error in judgment that leads to mistakes. Underestimating responsibility can cause a person to blame other people or forces beyond one's control. And overestimating responsibility can cause a person to feel guilty for problems that one didn't create. All people have character defenses, which are commonly called excuses, and they arise from a desire to protect one's character from accusations of wrongdoing, which could result in losses to relationships, employment, or finances. The question is, does a person defend one's character honestly or dishonestly? People have many compelling reasons to lie to defend their character. A person who made a careless decision may not want to accept responsibility for the mistake. A person who committed a crime may deny committing the crime to avoid being arrested or having to face consequences. And you can find many examples of dishonest character defenses. Blaming and putting the blame on something or someone else is an example. Or rationalization and trying to make one's decisions appear to be based on good reasons, no matter how terrible the consequences. Or obstruction, where one prevents others from seeing the truth, usually to cover up character flaws or unacceptable behaviors. The ability to accept responsibility, not only for the achievements that one takes pride in, but also for embarrassing mistakes, enables one to learn from those mistakes and make better choices in the future. And that helps a person to regain trust. If a person becomes emotional and screams at someone or punches a hole in the wall, the ability to accept responsibility for the behavior and acknowledge that it was wrong gives others reassurance that it will not continue, and others will be secure in knowing that they will not be falsely accused or wrongly blamed for the individual's poor choices. The ability to take responsibility is desirable because it means gaining greater control over one's life instead of helplessly living at the mercy of circumstances. But it can also be very stressful and exhausting. It requires taking the initiative to make things happen instead of allowing them to happen and experiencing a loss as a result. The ability to give responsibility to others enables one to accomplish more in less time at a higher quality of production. Trying to do too much yourself increases time deficits, unhealthy stress, and reduces the quality and quantity of work. So delegating tasks to other people can save a lot of time and reduce unnecessary stress. Thank you for watching this video. These topics and many more can be found in my recent book entitled Decision-Making Skills, a guide to handling uncertainty, driving results, and cultivating well-being.